Welcome to the video. So I'll say first, I'm pretty under the weather. I was originally going to just make a series of posts for this, but it ended up being so much that I figured I would just kind of tough it out and make another video. So if I sound kind of under the weather, that's because I am. So, and I did not fully expect to be I fully didn't expect to be making a third part for this. However, there's been a lot of new connections coming up, and some people in the comments have pointed out some just brilliant analysis of the symbolism we looked at in the last couple videos. So we'll go over a bit of that. So before we begin here, I'm just going to read a quick and simple gospel. John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And that's all you have to do. All you have to do is believe in him. It doesn't matter how good of a person you've been in your life, or how often you've gone to church, or given to charity. He paid for your sins, past, present, and future. All of them. It's a free gift, and all you have to do is accept it. It has nothing to do with you, and everything to do with him. All right, so the first thing we're going to be looking at here is the movie White. Sorry, before I begin here, I'll say everything from this point forward is purely for entertainment purposes, not to be taken seriously. All right, so the first we're just going to be looking at this movie White House Down here. So I started going through anything I could find some sort of correlation to the events that we seem to be looking at, and I looked at Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down. I even pulled up modern Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 just to find some connections there, because I think there is a scene in that game that's very similar. But this is probably the strongest connection I've found. It's in a Strong's Concordance we'll look at, but it seems very subtle. But just bear with me. It's interesting. So the movie came out on June 28th, 2013. So we fired that in our date calculator here, and we put it to our date we've been looking at for the past two videos. So March 8th, 2025. So the interesting Strong's Concordance I found was not the days, but 11 years, 8 months, and 8 days. So we have 1188. So 1188 is Dexios, right as in right hand or right side. So this may seem at first very unrelated, but just keep watching. I'll show you there's a pretty strong correlation here. So the most relevant verse is from Zechariah chapter 11, verse 17. So I'll read that now. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. So if you follow Raw Repent, this will be very familiar to you, and he has a great deal of videos pointing to the kind of right eye wound that the Antichrist or a member of the Antichrist is going to suffer. So we'll look at a couple of the correlations in Lavender here, as well as iPet Goat. So let's see, we'll go to 140 here. So in this scene here, I'll just play this a little bit. So you have this kind of clown guy getting shot here, but you'll notice there's a strike over his right eye. So it's you'll find this very, very common amongst this symbolism. And what I'm going to show you in this video is just going to be a very, very small amount of the kind of right eye symbolism. Like I think I have one on the home page here. I have one from Donnie Darko. You got the right eye there of this kind of bunny character, which is kind of resembling the Antichrist. And then in iPet Goat here, you have quite a bit in this one scene. So I don't think I have the highest definition for this video, but in the back here you have, I'm sure most of you know what that is. And then you have the right eye of the bunny. So the right eye is facing. And then you have this character here, which also, I'm sure you know who this resembles, has three kind of markers on his face here, which I don't think I have. You'll see it more clearly if you just look at the YouTube version and go to like 720p, then you'll be able to see that. But there's three marks, which is kind of resembling his right eye there. So that's pretty interesting from that. But I'm going to link a video in the description, that has a great deal more from Robert Pant. He has some very good videos on this. But the next thing we're going to be looking at here, and throughout the most of this video, we're pretty much just going to try and tie more connections to our March 8th date. So we'll go here to the 55-second mark. And we have this brain here. So what I think this is in connection with is, I'll just pull this up here, International Thinking Day. So if you recall in our lavender video, I'll just go to the timestamp I have for this. If you recall, the kind of Donald Trump character was standing on a 22, and we assume that this was our Julian date. So as well, we have International Thinking Day, which is on February 22nd. So again, this would be our Julian date. And then we go to the iPet Goat here, and we have this kind of lightning strike, which I'm sure depicts Satan, as like Satan. I saw him befall from heaven as lightning. So that's what's I think being shown here. And then you have like this division of the mind. So 1 second here, let's have a drink of water. I'll probably do that quite a bit throughout this video, but. So around October last year, the Lord gave me a dream where I saw this conflict, and then I woke up, and then in my spirit, I knew exactly what I had seen. It was a modern civil war in a country which I'm sure you can imagine which one. And I knew almost immediately what would come about, because I thought, like, what is the only real thing that would trigger such an event? And it took me very little time to figure out exactly what it was. And then I began seeing the symbolism in, for example, videos like this, and then here. So it seemed very obvious to me, like, what was going to happen. But yeah, so I believe this is another correlation to our February 22nd Julian date. So that one's covered, and we'll just move on to the next one here. I'll try and rip through these. Okay, we're going to go to 44-second mark here. Back a little bit more. Okay, so this one is very, very obvious now, but I couldn't figure it out at first, because in my kind of like Western mindset, I assumed that this was the days of the week. So you like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday here. And in this picture, you have this person holding a gun. And over here, what looks to be the victim of this guy here. And then you have this piece of tape here separating it, which I haven't quite figured out this part. I have to assume it's a similar or related event. But if you have an idea what that is, just please put it in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear that. But so I was looking at my calendar the other day here, and I kept thinking, like, you know what, it would be interesting if this was... Or if our March 8th date fell right, I'll just move that over. If our March 8th date fell on a Sunday, then that would just like perfectly line up. But then I was looking at this and was like, oh, Sunday is the first day of the week here, and that would just perfectly line up with our March 8th being that last day of the week. So I went and Googled here. Let's pull this up. I Googled, what is the first day of a Jewish week? And... according to Jewish calendar, the first day of a week is Sunday, called Yom Rishon. And then I had a different kind of thing pop up earlier, but apparently for Christians as well, Sunday is still considered the first day of the week, which even though I'm Christian, I didn't know that. So that was very interesting. So if then we go back to our iPet Goat here, wherever that is, and then we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then there's our Saturday, which would be our March 8th date we've been looking at. So that would pretty well fulfill that. So we have that's pretty well marked off now. As well as if we consider the 1023 and then the 1024 dates, which if you recall from the first video, this would be Snoop Dogg picking up the gun, and then over here you would have his kind of bang. So this would perfectly fulfill the 1023 and then 1024. As that would be Friday and then Saturday. So that would fulfill that pretty easily. But it seems very obvious. I don't know why I didn't figure that out sooner, but it's just the way she goes. And now we'll just cover a few more points here. So we're going to go to 238 on lavender here. So actually, we'll go back a little farther. So I have to give a shout out to R Junior 30 for pointing this out, because this was just an incredible correlation he found. I'll just play this scene now again. So the thing he noticed here was, if you imagine that this square right here is 16 and then this is 17, so this would essentially be your March 16th. This would be your John 3:16, the date that we're most likely looking at for departure. And then over here you have your March 17th, which as the car is essentially in both, but it is for the most part in the 16th, but then it's a little bit in the 17th. This could just be the people who are in the 17th time zone, which would be like Australia and such. They'd be farther ahead. So and then the doors open here. So this could be the symbolize the rapture door. You have like one on the 16 and then one in the area of the 17. So incredible find there by our junior. And if you watch from the start here, you have this is a white car. So they often use white to symbolize God or Jesus. So that's our ride. That's our ride. But yeah, very interesting. And he did point out one part, which I didn't fully understand. I'll get back to him on it. But you have the green car pointing towards right over here. It looks like it's pointing towards the 16th as well as the 17th. So this could be your hint for St. Patrick's Day, which I could definitely see that. Because obviously you couldn't have this car over here as well. So they probably just have it pointing at that to show you that like this is St. Patrick's Day over here with the green. But very, very interesting. A very good find. And we're just going to go to our last point here. So I believe another commenter pointed it out, and I probably should have gotten back and got their name. Maybe I'll add it in the pinned comment, but he noticed throughout, let's go to this scene here. In this scene, there's a red light on this car here, and as well on the kind of Donald Trump figure. And if you go a little further in here, and you look into Snoop Dogg's glasses, you'll realize that it's not tail lights, but it's just one red light. So very interesting. And then if we go to the 3:14 mark, this is really stretching it, but you could assume that this is like your blood moon, which is being shown to you on 3:14, and having just the one single red light, one single round red light. It's definitely there for a reason. So that could be our March 14th blood moon reference right there. So very interesting. Yeah, you got that there. So yeah, that's pretty well everything I wanted to cover in the video. And yeah, maybe there'll be a part 4. Who knows? I think we're beginning to enter kind of a rare territory where we're going to be decoding in real time as these events unfold. But that's going to be extremely interesting. But thank you for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends. God bless.